Hey, welcome back to another episode of Wholistic Conversations. I'm your host, Brittany, and today we have a phenomenal artist, Raury. He is an amazing man, amazing spirit, and if you have listened to his music, you already know the vibes that we're going to have here today. All right, so thank you so much for being here today. I'm super excited to, have this conversation, and how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. You know what I'm saying? Just two amazing people here in blouses. You know what I'm saying? You ever seen a Dave Chappelle skit
No.
with Prince?
Nope. I can't say I'm the biggest Dave Chappelle fan.
Oh, to each their own. To each their
Yeah.
own. But just for those that are watching, I want to say, game blouses.
Okay. And we start off every episode with pulling some cards from this deck to build just an authentic relationship right at the beginning.
Okay.
Authentic conversations. So it's a mix. I'm going to give you a big pal today because we're just going to go for it. So let's see, whatever you pull, you'll read the question and then you'll answer it. And then I'll pull a question as well. Okay, and you can pick one. So it's 2 questions on a card, and you can pick whichever question resonates most with you.
Who do you look up to the most? That's been a bit of a challenging question to answer. Both of these questions were challenging because the other one was like describe your favorite meal. I'm like, man, I'll eat plant-based, but I like a lot of stuff. I can't pick one. And like, who do I look up to most? There's so few. And even those that I do, I've been like let down. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, who do I look up to the most? I've kind of learned like maybe it's not best to look up to anyone too much, but creator, but God, and give everyone their flowers for the greatness that they are. But I as of maybe last year, I've kind of just gotten like lost any bit of myself that like just like idolizes anyone but my mother. So I say my mother.
Okay.
Yeah, my mama, she the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, she gangsta.
That's amazing. Who do I look up to the most? The first thing that came to mind was my higher self. Because my higher self is somebody that I know that I'm becoming. So it's like that's the person I look up to, the person that I know that I'm becoming, and the ultimate like person I want to be in the future. Because I'm not settled with who I am. Like I love me, but I know there's a better version of me. So
can I riff on that a little bit?
Yes, go for it.
That's exactly what I have always been doing whenever I put together some music or I do a video or photo shoot. Like I think of like, all right, this is my chance to help channel down and present my higher self, and present not just my higher self, but my own version of like heaven on earth whenever I can like shoot a visual or start giving the world like my dream, because my dream is my higher self, but it's more than that. It's a whole realm and space and place. So when I do a music video or if I make a song, I'm trying to go there. I'm trying to bring it down from the ethers into this, plane here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel that.
Okay.
It really is a whole nother, being to be aware of. That I am also like trying to, catch up to.
Yeah, that's real. Okay, my question is, when working on something hard, do you quit or continue on? And I don't know, I'm a person that when something is hard, I like it because it's a challenge. So I continue on. I keep it going. And also really depending on the situation, because some things that is hard is a sign, and it's teaching me to let go of certain things that is hard. But overall, when it comes to like work or anything, like a personal battle that I might be facing, if it's hard, I like to continue working on it so I can become better and stronger at the end.
Yeah, that makes me think. I would answer that question. It definitely mirrors yours.
Mm-hmm.
That's what allowed me to even do what I do today, like a musician. You know, like my goals were always bigger than my ego could accept. You know, like like I am known to bite off more than I can chew. I'm known to like they said, like I believe he said, aim for the moon. So if you fall, you land on the clouds. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like I yeah, and even still to this day, I have dreams that scare me, but I'm going for it. You know,
Yeah.
like I wanna. Well, actually, I'm gonna keep some of my dreams protected. But like when I was in high school, man, I wanted to make a living doing what I love. I didn't know what it was, but even like when I was 9, I was trying to figure it out and find out like what is my thing, because I want to help my mama retire. I want to, and I don't. I know I did not want to go to college. Like since I was like 10, I was like, I got to find something that I like, that so I can start getting to the paper and I can just take a different route. And yeah, man, making music.
Okay. So you already had the mindset of at 9 years old that you're thinking about what are you going to be, how are you going to contribute to your mother, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like really that's 9 years old. I wouldn't, as a parent, think my child is thinking of these things. So what were you going through at 9 years old to make you want to, provide for your mother and your family or the world?
I guess, it's a single mother household. I have I was the youngest of older sister, older brother, and I couldn't always get exactly what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? Be it material things or, like how bad I wanted like a guitar. It took me a while to get, that little crappy $20 guitar from Walmart that couldn't even tune. So things, we were definitely like upper lower class. No, I've heard lower middle class before. I'm like, oh no, maybe we were there. Yeah, we had a house. We lived in a house. But I just love my mom so much, and I saw her struggling, like working overtime, and how like long she was like gone. Like yeah, I just thought different, and I guess like I feel like anime kind of instilled a certain drive within me, like watching Naruto growing up. I'm not even gonna lie, bit of a weeb. And that stuff, man, it's just, brother, the dude was a dreamer. So when I was young, I was watching things that were instilling certain type of principles within me. Like, like, this is what matters, like not, what most kids were thinking about at the time.
Right.
So I took life seriously pretty early.
Yeah. And I think that's pretty cool how you took your lessons or your way of life from anime. Because there are, I feel like, not social media, but television has an effect on how we think, how we feel. It really shapes sometimes our perception of the world. So what was one valuable lesson you learned from anime? That one thing that's like, okay, I have to incorporate this in my life.
Man, that boy Naruto wanted to become Hokage. He wanted to become but the Hokage was like the president, or like the leader of the nation, and he was also the most looked down upon person within the village. And I often felt like an underdog growing up. Like, my name is Raury, not John, not Joshua, not like not any normal name. So to a degree I was alienated growing up, like, yeah, of course I was a dope kid and whatnot, but to a degree I was really alienated off the strength of my name. There was a lot of things that were just like, all right, I'm a bit of a black sheep, and I want to prove something to myself that, like, hey, like I'm not everyone else. And and like my existence is gonna be something beneficial to the whole.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you had like an underdog mentality.
Yeah, it's just
and you want to prove yourself that, hey, I'm not just what you think I am. I have more capabilities to show. Okay, and then you were able to express that through your music. Is that how old were you when you started playing the guitar?
Well, another thing was like when I was young as like 7, my older brother Rodney, shout out Rodney, he was 10 years older than me, so he was 17. But we rap battle sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I grew up on Pac. I grew up on Pac because of my mom, you know. A little stuff my mama played in the car: Sade, Pac, Mariah Carey, Keisha Cole, like a lot of Beyonce, like around like the B-Day era. Let's see, some REO Speedwagon, you know, all kinds of stuff. You know, my big brother, you know, of course, he was 17. Around this time, it might have been like 2004, 2005. So it was like the whole crunk era,
Mm-hmm.
you know, with like Jeezy or like T.I. or like 50 Cent or Red Hot Chili Peppers. I was just around a lot of music. I got put onto Kid Cudi by my sister. Shout out Calvis. Even though you were mean to me last week, still love you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kid Cudi, like Chief Keef, and all the other like Pharrell and all that stuff off of LimeWire on the computer.
Right,
you know,
right.
so like,
Downloading songs, putting it on the CD.
yeah, a lot of that music, really created this cornucopia of taste that I developed when it came down to sound. And I don't know if I'm answering your question. What was the question?
I asked, what age did you start playing the guitar?
Oh yeah,
you was telling me that
it was when I was 9. When I was 9, I really, you know, started thinking like, man, like if I pick up something now, by the time I'm 17, there's no way I wouldn't be good at it.
Right.
Like, I, you know, first what I thought was like, you know, what if all these adults are right? Mm-hmm. What if like they're telling me about college, they're talking about school, they're talking about like jobs and stuff, like let me look into what they're talking about. And I looked into college a bit because I had the internet. It didn't dial up nonetheless, but the internet was the internet. So I was on there, and I looked into a lot of stuff, and that's when I found out I didn't want to go to college. It didn't sound right for me.
Right.
Like I am at like the bottom, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know where I'm like, yeah, scholarships. Like I just didn't want to take that route. I don't even think I really like sitting in a school for 8 hours a day. It didn't really seem like my speed. So I was like, I wanted to pick up a lot of things. I wanted to get into photography. I wanted to try every sport. I was like, I went through a little like Dalai Lama phase of just like trying to try things. And guitar was one of those things I wanted to try. And I was asking my mom for 2 years to get me a guitar, each birthday, each Christmas, you know, and you're like, you ain't gonna be playing that old country guitar, man, making noise. You know, she didn't take me seriously. But I never let up about it. And I finally got it when I was 11. So I have been writing raps. I've been writing raps since I was 8. Freestyle battling my brother since I was 7. But I did make a song called "Oh Little Fishy" when I was like 3.
Okay.
I didn't record it. It was some song I was singing. They were like, "Rory, sing your song," and I was like, oh. I'm not gonna sing it for y'all right now. You know?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
You know,
okay, so so I feel like your music is, I don't know, I feel it more in my soul and my spirit. Like some music you can feel with your emotions, like, oh, I resonate with that feeling. Right? This person could be happy. This person could be sad. This person could be going through a breakup. But with your music, I like feel it in my spirit. It just feel good. Yeah. Right? So like, how did you know you had something different than the like mainstream media music?
Well, it was intentional. It was intentional because I also realized how, like by the time I was, you know, especially like 13 or whatnot, about how like a lot of people live through the music they're listening to. Because, you know, like I've seen some kids, you know, who like live in a nice house, like kind of like you're good, start, like
Mm-hmm.
listening to some type of sound and decided they want to, turn to Scarface and, like ruin their lives. I've seen, I just seen it. I just seen a lot of things go south. Um, so I realized, and I saw how like the media inspired me in different ways. It is programming to the exact degree of programming. Like it programs you. The media that you intake, be it video, music, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So people live through that, and I felt like I was lucky enough to have digested the right things and to like choose to emulate and to take on the right things based on what I was paying attention to. And I wanted to pick up my sword in that battle of the battle of ideas. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I would call it, the battle of ideas, and some people would even call it spiritual warfare because like it's like sometimes you can call spirits like ideas, like negative thoughts, bad thoughts, school spirit. Everyone dresses up in the school colors and they all agreed to be a collective mind who were going to wear maroon and gold for the Tucker Tigers. And that's school spirit, but that's the same thing as like the spirit of freedom,
Mm-hmm.
or the spirit of um, unity, the spirit of black people, the spirit of whatever kind of idea you want to create. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna contribute to the the spirit that brings you closer to autonomy and freedom from this very intentional
Mm-hmm.
matrix and myriad of content that is like kind of brainwashing a lot of youth and grown people in the wrong directions, you
Okay.
know.
And I hear you say freedom a lot. So my first question is, what is freedom to you? Because I feel like freedom is very important, right?
Mm-hmm.
It opens up the realm of creativity, but a lot of people have to work to actually gain freedom,
Mm-hmm.
which is really really weird. Because us
Yeah.
as humans, that's what we want. I feel like that's what make us who we are, right?
Mm-hmm.
The freedom to travel, the freedom to be in nature, the freedom to eat fresh food from the ground. Like that's real freedom. But you can't really get real freedom until you work, until you're retired. But it shows that like this is really what we need. This is what us humans need. So what do freedom mean to you?
I really kind of meditated on that as you were speaking to me, and it all ties back into a lot. It's like freedom. I am not able to define it confidently, but I know that we aren't. And I could tell by the example of looking at my mother.
Mm-hmm.
She like wasn't free to, like maybe like live the life she wanted, like and I look around the world and I see people that have to, in order to survive, we have to, like clock into these certain and live this certain type of way of life. For whatever reason, over the past 300 or however many amount of years, we've been slowly weaned off of autonomous living, knowing how to grow our own food, like knowing how to like actually like survive and take care of ourselves to the point where like the state is raising the children, and like we are like humanity has been like domesticated and entrapped in this vicious Ponzi scheme, man. It's hard to put into words, but all I know is that like like it starts early,
Mm-hmm.
by way of the programming. I just always felt like something wasn't right, and wanted to find a way out so for me, freedom looks like what I've been like working on with my organization called The Woods. The Woods is an organization that I started once I walked away from Columbia and Love Renaissance, my management at the time in 2017 when I was 21, because I made music to inspire freedom, but not just to inspire it, but I actually have a plan of action to at least create the breadcrumbs, or to at least create a more open door to the concept of like autonomous lifestyle. I'm not asking like, cause like, yo, it's just like being born in the ocean. Like you gotta swim.
Mm-hmm.
Like I gotta swim. Everybody gotta swim. We're born in the middle of the ocean. You can't be over here acting like, forget about water. Like we don't need water. Right. Like no, like we're born in this matrix. We gotta make money. We gotta find a way how to like do this. And
do you feel like you being a part of that management could have, or did it provide freedom for your mother in any way?
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely helped me swim faster.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely helped me swim stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. But we were just going to islands. We weren't going to the actual land, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
if we got to the land, there's no way that we were throwing out rafts. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't
Mm-hmm.
the plan. The plan was just like, hey man, let's get to this island
Mm-hmm.
and like post up. Let's just look out for ourselves. And I was really intent on like, I would rather not be out in, LA, creating opportunities for a lot of Nepo babies. Like I'd rather be here in Atlanta, helping my homie who I've known since my freshman year, who's always had my back, you know what I'm saying, before he goes down the wrong path, or all the people that I really cared about, want to like create opportunities for the community that I'm going to come home to.
Do you have any regrets?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
That's
No.
good.
Not at all, man. Not at all. I feel as if right now, I was 21 at the time, I'm 27 now, and I understand the industry to a degree where it's like, I'm a grown ass man now. Like even when it came down to like releasing this album that I put out today, shout out Transcendent, shout out the team, shout out Chris, shout out Lovely, shout out Joey, shout out everyone that was a part of that. But I figured out the ins and outs, man, on the rollout from the to crediting everyone and making sure it's done right, because no one's gonna care as much as me.
Mm-hmm.
And I came into the game as a young 17-year-old man. I came into the game as a boy, and I'm glad that I'm reapproaching it all as a grown ass man, and knowing exactly how I want things to happen, having a team that's ready to like respect my leadership, because like a lot of artists are not in that position, and it was worth taking the time to like learn how to engineer. Was a thing that was a really big journey. Like I remember when I first started making music, I could play guitar, I could do things like that, but I didn't know how to sit at the studio and produce. Right. And like at that time, my team, they didn't really care about me focusing on producing. It was gonna take too long. But like once I learned how to produce, and figured some more things out, man, I messed around and cooked up God's Whisper. Messed around and like got in with Day Trip. Had more articulation on how to make the music, and they cooked up Cigarette Song. But if I never learned how to produce, I would have been subject to what the producer was producing, and then I would never have any direction over my sound. Right. So even when it came down to the mix or the engineering and all of that, I wanted to like master that because I wanted to have my own studio at home. I wanted to know how to fly my own spaceship, so people couldn't be handing some budget over my head. Like, oh, like let's go spend, yo, Roy, come over here. Let's go spend, $50K on a studio when I could spend $50K buying a studio and having it at my house and have a studio forever. Like, what in the world is that? Like, it's just like, I understanding business acumen and just knowing like, yo, like to have the facilities to produce the lemonade is way better than going to the gas station and getting the lemonade powder and like,
Right.
Yeah, it's about autonomy in so many ways. It doesn't just stop with music, doesn't just stop with food, but autonomy is very important. Autonomy is very important.
Okay, and you felt like with being under the management, you didn't have that control or that autonomy to create a space for you and for the other people you wanted to bring along.
Oh yeah, no, not at all. And that's also because I'm an artist and I'm a bit nuts, and my dreams are big and they're a bit outlandish. And Some people may be a bit more beaten down by this world and ready to just go along, you know, and just grateful to be able to swim better than most people in this ocean.
Right.
If you're following me, and sometimes I speak in metaphor and it just gets weird.
Like it just
but you know what I'm
nowhere.
talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry if
you're fine.
Don't want to get clipped. Like I created the woods because what I want to do is find a way to create sustainable neighborhoods where the art and the agriculture and things of that nature are the driving forces of its economy. You know, because I feel like art is important. It's how we constantly transform our fear into love, how we communicate with each other, and how we communicate with our higher selves and channel it down into the world and share it with each other. It's important. Like art is this couch, art is this building, art is, you know, it's not just, like painting or, like, let me get on this track and do whatever. Like, no, man, art is divine and necessary part. And so is, you know, like food and clean water and shelter. So I want to, you know, I want to come into that Drake money, you know what I'm saying? I want to come into that Kendrick money. I want to come into that big money, and I'm going to invest in land, and I'm going to start, you know, creating neighborhoods. But this is what I was on in 2017, way before COVID happened. So I'm talking to my team like, yo, like, this is what we need to do. And they were like, no, just stay in LA and sound more like Lil Uzi while you're at it. I'm like, bro, no.
Yeah.
Like,
And I actually get that from you. You're more like, even when I watch your videos and everything, I'm like, he's an artist. An artist is something different than like, you know, like a rapper or a singer,
a recording artist or
entertainer. Like you're an artist, and I can tell through your visuals, like you're telling a story. I can tell through your sound, your vocals, like you're creating a masterpiece with everything you do. So thank you.
I do my best too.
You know what I'm saying, for sharing your art to the world, because it's important and it's needed. You know, so. What's one thing you're fearful of?
I just fear the aspects of myself that are really human that at times can lose sight of what is important because my brain is in a fight or flight mode, or my brain is in survival mode, because that's just a normal part of human nature. It's like having shoelaces, you know, like, you know, some days like I'm on my shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm focused on my purpose. I'm waking up, taking good care of myself. But, you know, sometimes I can get depressed. Sometimes there can be something that happens that, you know, like has me out of whack. And sometimes I can forget. Sometimes I can forget, you know, and just be like down on myself, because it is a lot, man. I've seen like a lot of my dreams like right in front of my eyes, and I've had to like start over completely, like from like 2017 to like completely like start over, and there's been a lot of like 10 steps forward, 50 back, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's been tough, and there have been a lot of things that have like kind of made me want to like turn my back towards like even like I came back to Atlanta to like really rock with the community and be really present with everyone. But there have been a lot of bad things that have happened as a result of being so close to the community, because the community is hurt. And so in turn the community is toxic. Yeah. And like sometimes I things have happened that have made me angry at the community and careless towards the community, but I have to remain in my executive mind state of understanding and loving the way God loves, and remembering why I do this, and just staying true and staying determined. And that's what I mean when you talking about something like doing something hard. Like I decided, man, I'm gonna make music to help the world. Oh God, why did I pick that one? Right. It's so easy. It's not so easy because it's a true art. Shout out to everyone that makes like club music, man. That shit is a lot of that shit is fire. Shout out Don Toliver. I'm a big fan of Don Toliver. But you know how awesome it looks to just get paid $10K to walk through a club. Yeah, man. Let me tell them what they need. Like, you know what, man. You know what I mean? People, sat there, sit in front of my face and be like, "Oh, Raury, you're such a legend. Oh man, I love your music and all that." And then they turn around and just dive right back into all the debauchery. You know what I'm saying? I was like, "Oh, like what do we really stand for? Like what are we really doing?"
Right.
I don't know, but I guess you can call it duality, you can call it balance. But if I have a cup of water and I put some bleach in that water, are you going to drink it? Is it still water? I don't know.
Yeah. And when you talk about that fear aspect, I think for me too, I feel like I go through that same thing.
Yeah, how about yourself?
Yeah.
I know you're interviewing me, but sometimes
no, it's
I
fine.
ask
It's
you
conversational, so we can kind of, yes.
I'm curious, yes.
So I resonate with what you were saying as far as you have those good days, you have those bad days, and you have to remember why you're doing certain things to kind of uplift you when you are in those states of depression. And one of the things I try not to beat myself up on too much is when I was like, I'm going to experience it all. So when I am feeling good, when I am in my purpose, when I do wake up in the morning, I'm going to feel it. Like I'm going to feel that excitement. I'm going to feel that joy. I'm going to feel that courage and that oneness with God that I'm connected with, that's making everything happen in alignment. But then when things aren't necessarily happening the way I feel like they should go, I'm still going to feel like just as much as I feel the positivity. Like I'm still going to feel the sadness and the hurt and the, depression. But the goal is always to kind of go back into that middle space. But I'm like, it's not bad to feel the negativity too, because that's really, like you say, that's a duality, but that's also just a human experience. And I want to enjoy both sides. So when I, 10 years from now, I'll be like, dang, I remember when I was sad and things wasn't working out, but it really was working out. So that's the thing. So I resonate with that, finding that balance of, okay, staying in the middle, but also really enjoying both sides of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's okay to feel sad. And I think that was one of my biggest things was I'm such a happy, positive person. So when I am sad, it's hard for me to even go talk to other people because I'm like, I don't want to go bring somebody else down.
You're
exactly.
Aware. There's a weight that comes with a certain level of intelligence, man. You just know better, You just know better. Like, oh yeah, I'm here, so let me handle this. Let me process this.
Yeah.
But in there, I make a mistake when I do that because maybe I should talk to people. Maybe I should scream more. Maybe I should cry more. Maybe I should cuss motherfuckers out more. You know what I'm saying? Because for whatever reason, because I put out God's Whisper, and I do represent a lot of positivity, man, and growth, but I'm also a human, to the point where, some people have a unrealistic perception of me. They think that, I am like a monk or something. I ain't no monk, bro. I ain't no monk. And if I were to do something that any other human out there would do is I thought you were this, I thought you were that. And let me let everyone know right now, I'm a nigga from the east side. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. I got love in my heart. I know what I'm trying to do right. I'm doing my best to do right. But I'm human, and it is not always day.
Yep.
Why would you want it to be daytime 24/7? I may digress a little bit, but that's also a part of why I'm with this meditation album I just put out called Transcendence. I kind of pay attention. I kind of have a weird. Let me stop calling myself weird, man. Let me own my shit. I believe that you speak your reality into existence, but you also think it. You pray it, but also when you're thinking, you're praying. There's no difference. That's what I believe. But boy, oh boy, when you make a song about it and you go on a stage and you perform it over and over and over and over and over and over and over, if you think speaking it into existence is one thing, when you perform it into existence, when you I feel as if a lot of really impactful artists have brought upon their own like deaths
Mm-hmm.
and things like that, you know, or people try and manifest, or they call in with their music, they're calling in their higher self, or they might be calling in whatever kind of self they want to be, and
Mm-hmm.
speak about a life that maybe they don't even live, you know what I'm saying? So like I put out this Transcendence meditation album because I want to be about that life. You know, I want to be about that
you
life.
want to practice it.
So even if I don't wake up and meditate every day like I should, I want to.
Right.
I want to, and I want to encourage everyone else to. So like, let me talk that talk. So I gotta walk that walk. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, yeah, I've done my training. I've become like a basu and you know, the comedic yogi. Are you familiar with what basus are? And
I'm not familiar.
basus are those who have trained. Shout out Netta Ankh. Shout out Basu Tanisio. Shout out to Celie. Cecilie, oh man, it's my spiritual mother. So when I saw her here, I was like, oh, I gotta, this is where it's at. I gotta go come talk to this lady.
Yes.
Yeah, you go through a training. I think there are under 1,000 basus, maybe under 1,500 in the world, and it is the people who have trained in Kemetic yoga, which is also known as Egyptian yoga, which is also known as the original form of yoga. It dates back before, you know, any other form. And yeah, man, it's baller, and it's a part of me, and I want to present it more in my experience with my fan base, you know, like, so like, yeah, I can put out any other kind of album and bring people to a dingy bar and tell them to put their hands up, jump, splash them with water, send them home, get them all drunk, and that's cool because I like to do that. Don't get it wrong, you know, but
yeah.
You know, I just did a kirtan show at this temple in a little 5 Point. Shout out Veda, shout out to Ishkan over there. You know, like brought these people into this temple, and we, you know, listened to the meditation album, giving people different experiences. You know, when I put together the folk album, that's because I wanted to bring people out into nature, onto farms, and connect them to farms and all that. Right. You know.
Okay, so I can see, I see your example of basically you created the album so you can create a practice.
World. Yeah, you can
create the practice for culture. Yourself. So now you can step into your higher self, the person that you actually want to be. Yes. So that's amazing to hear. And as you were developing that album, how were you able to tune yourself into the frequency of, because meditation is calming, right? So how do you tune yourself, and how do you like to prepare to sit down and to create that meditation album?
It started really with, what was it, man? I was going through a phase, man. I had lost my license. I had to move out of a space that I used to live at that I was really enjoying. And at one point I felt like I did not have control of my life. Felt like every fan I ever had, like they're like all talk and they don't really support me and forgot about me. And I was just like in a dark place. And I started listening to this music that pulled me out of it. It pulled me out of it, man. It was, what's that dude's name? Raury and Alice Coltrane. That music, it just reminded me of how healing music can be. And I was like, man, I want to do that for myself. I want to do that for others. I want to create a sound that allows everyone's day to feel a little bit easier. So it's not an album that's like demanding, like, oh, stop what you're doing and listen and peep every word and look at how talented, like, you know, all that gladiator shit. But it's more so on some Master Yoda shit. Like, okay, look, boom, this is what you need. Like, here you go. Enjoy it. And to enjoy it doesn't mean that you have to unplug from this world. It's here. Like, this shit is like barbecue sauce, you know, for your goddamn your ribs, you know what I'm saying, for your sandwich, you know, it makes life better, in a way.
So what is your form of meditation? Because there are different kinds. You got mindfulness meditation, you got walking meditation, you can sit down and be still and meditate. So what is the way you practice meditation?
Sometimes through playing the music.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes through making tea. Sometimes through going out in the front yard and picking up violet and dandelion out of the grass and just paying attention to what's there with my baby boy Forrest. He's 3 years old. Shout out Forrest. Oh, now I get my shout outs off. And sometimes through just driving. Meditation is just a shift in awareness at any point. Like even this conversation can be one if you decide that it is. Even listening to this conversation can be one if you decide that it is.
Yeah.
Meditation is not just stillness and empty-mindedness. It's awareness too. So I hope I answered that question.
Yes, you did. Yes, and because you were saying that for me, meditation is all of those things, but the meditation that get me, like, it produces this profound experience is when I'm sitting after I finish my workout. Then I'll go get my yoga mat. I'll sit down. Currently, I've been doing more of a shamanic breathing exercise for my meditation, which really is like very profound because you're releasing these chemicals inside the body and it brings a really pure state of relaxation. But ultimately, through any meditation I do that focus on stillness and awareness and allowing your mind to kind of release the thoughts. When I tell you I feel like I'm in another world and I don't want to get up because it's so refreshing and it's such a relief to not be in the world, because I feel like it's a lot of things that we have to go through being as humans that we necessarily don't really need to go through, but we have to because we're here. You know what I'm saying? So when I meditate, it really, it just makes me forget about all my problems. It makes me forget about the world. It makes me forget that I'm even human. Like I'm just in this space of nothingness. And I enjoy it so much.
I need you to put me on to what you got going on. I'm curious about that one.
Yeah.
Because I just kind of like freestyle it. Sometimes it's just the first thing when I wake up. Hopefully it's at 6 a.m. before everyone else wakes up and they need me to do something. I go to my pillows. I've had these meditation pillows with me ever since I kind of like left the industry and like moved back to Atlanta. I started making this little meditation pillow corner. And these same pillows have been with me ever since. So I'll go to these pillows and I'll sit there and I'll do this 4-chamber breathing technique also, and I'll focus on each part of my body based on the chakra of the day, because I do my best also, like, because I'm going to digress. I live each day to the best of my ability to a certain chakra.
Okay.
What day is today?
Today is
Thursday?
It is.
Yeah, today's Thursday. So it's a third eye day. It's for every Thursday is a vision day. It's a vision day where I sit and I plan for the near and distant future, and I visualize maybe during that meditation. And like each day, like, so I would imagine the color of indigo as I breathe in, do my 4-chamber breath, breathing into my feet, shins, knees, thighs, all the way up. And once I've done that to my whole body, then I just chill for a while and to see how I feel. And I might ask questions to myself, ask questions to my ancestors, ask questions to Great Spirit, and see what I'm feeling. But oftentimes when I do that, especially early in the morning, I wake up and I go right to my notebook and I create my list of things that I need to get done, things that were important to me, because I will think of things when I am trying not to think. And when you're trying not to think, the things that you think of are literal, like, mirrors of the soul, reflections of the spirit, because you weren't even trying to think of it, but you couldn't help it, you know? So, but if I meditate, and you might think of your mother, oh yeah, that's one thing. But if I meditate and I think of ass and titties, that's another thing. That's a message in itself too. It's like, man, how often am I thinking of ass and titties? Can I cuss here?
Yes.
Are there any rules?
No.
Yeah, I'm out here going ham.
No, go for it.
Yeah, man. So like, it's real. Okay. Each day I do my best to live according to the chakra. Right now, I have even like a little lapis lazuli up under here, which is a stone that helps heighten the third eye, also the first eye, known as the first eye.
Okay. And you spoke highly of your mother. Where, as far as your other parent, your father, where is he in the picture?
You know, he's around, in his in his
Okay.
own way. He's weird, man. But I do my best to have the love that God has for all things, and the understanding, that God has for all things.
Mm-hmm.
And I suck at that, but I try. And
Yeah.
I just give thanks that I was brought into this world to have this experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell that I get the feeling that he's kind of like alone. Or he's
Mm-hmm.
kind of, I don't know what he's going through, but even still, that we weren't, we're not in touch like as much as we should be.
Mm-hmm. If
I
there
don't I
was
don't I don't give up on him.
okay, and if there
And
was one thing that because when the last time you spoke to him?
like, maybe I text him. I haven't. Last time I heard his voice,
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember because he won't pick up the phone.
Mm. So if there's
I feel like he like I don't know. I don't know what's up. I don't know what's up. I don't know what the deal is, or if
yeah.
he feels bad, or he feels guilty, or I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what it is. But I'm gonna let you know that I love you.
Okay,
I
that's
love
what I was
you.
gonna
You're
say.
tripping. I love you. Give me a call. Bro. Like, let's go get a beer. Let's go watch a game. Like, I'm not mad at you. I'm not even gonna talk bad about him here. I just feel like, man, like he's been through something, and I don't know what it is, but I've been through this life enough too I could probably see how like
Mm-hmm.
I could see how I could feel like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I could be like, sometimes I get in a place where I can be very avoidant. I can be distant because I just don't want to be bothered, and
Yeah.
I just don't know what people want, and I just
Mm-hmm. So you saved that grace for him because
I see it in myself.
exactly.
I see it in myself. So I was like, you don't even got to explain it to me. I get it. Like, it looks like that kudzu vine for him grew out of it just grew. It reminds me of that little seedling in me that I see sometimes that I have, that wants to just unplug or just like not be bothered, and
Mm-hmm.
like I it seems like his overgrew, and
Yeah.
and maybe he didn't have a Chris, my wife, thank you, Chris, or a friend like Joey, or a friend like Adon or Demo, or a friend like Lovely, that people that I had around me, because I hit the jackpot of becoming a well-known artist and putting out enough love into the world that love came back to me in the form of the friends that I know now.
Yeah. And you're a father now, right?
Yeah, father of two.
Okay.
Forest and ocean.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Forest and ocean.
Yeah.
And what are some
boys.
things you're instilling in them that you felt like you wish you would have received from your father?
I'm just hype I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm hyped that I'm there.
Okay,
like,
no, that's important.
like I'm hyped that I'm there. What I'm instilling into them, like he's 3 and the other's 1.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the mix. I do my best to involve him and submerge him in the world of music, but also keep the world open to whatever it is they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just so hyped to be behind them and support them and to put them in position for that. So I let I guess the support and the ability to like explore. I thank God that I make a living from music, so I can be there 24/7, and teach them things early.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just like even like just like respect and like just like discipline and certain
Are your children
things that
they're 1 and 3, so I was going to say, are they homeschooled? But they're not technically even in school.
Yeah, but like
that is the plan.
They're definitely learning things.
Mm-hmm.
They're definitely learning things. No, I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know if I want to do the Montessori thing. Chris's mom is a teacher, but I don't know. I really don't like public school, but I don't want them to grow up to be like unsocialized, posh little mofs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some good things that I got from public school, but there's also tricky place.
I'll tell you my balance that I've had.
You have any?
And I have 2 daughters.
Oh, wow.
Yep, Lavender and Sage. So you say Ocean and
How old are
Forest, it's
they?
like 4 and 5.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
awesome. My mom, her name is Rosalind, so her name's Rose.
Okay.
And they have a cousin, my big brother's baby girl. Her name is Ava Rose.
But one of the things that I incorporate now, because they are homeschooled, and I want to make sure they do have that social aspect, is taking them to after school program. So they still get 3 hours to just,
Be around a whole bunch of kids.
Be around a whole bunch of kids, interact, have fun. I'm not there to supervise. Like, they get to, like, this is their world. So that's like my balance to.
I've been trying to figure, I'm in a space, because like when I was in that hospital, I didn't sign nothing. I didn't sign anything. They don't have social securities. They're ghosts. Like Forrest is baby boy Bodneza in the system. Like they don't even know his name, bro. Like, and I'm just trying to, man, because I don't know if you're aware of the paradigm that I'm speaking on.
No, I'm very aware, and I must say I'm in the
tell me
same
something.
boat.
Teach me something.
Okay, no,
like,
so look, I gave up. I was like,
yeah, because I'm now I'm in this position. Like, all right, I don't know. I'm over here talking to the Duke of Tears, and I'm over here talking to some other cats and learning about like claiming your proper place in the system, and like being protected. As a natural citizen. I'm trying to figure it out though. I'm trying to figure it out, and it does sometimes take a bag, take some money. Sometimes, and I've been trying to do it for myself right now, and it just got tricky. Like life got tricky, but now I'm finally in a position where I can get back on it. So I'm gonna give the Duke a call. You know about the Duke of Tears?
I don't, but I do know that was me and their dad original plan. What else? He kind of, persuaded me, and I was like, okay, this sounds like, this is cool. No birth certificate, no social security card. Don't beat me up in the comments for saying that sounded cool. But, do present its challenges to a degree. And I really feel like to make life easier, get the birth certificate, get the social security card. Swim. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you can always undo it. Yeah, you can always undo it. There's other ways to, put your child in a trust and protect them and things like that. Yeah,
creating a trust. Like, because that's all they are is what, to my understanding, I am not a proficient savant at talking about status correction, but it's just LLCs and 501 HCAs and things like that. It's literally just entities that represent this like living soul and being, and I just want to do it the right way for them to the point where they don't have to pay for the bombs over Palestine. Cause no, bro, like, man, that shit's whack, bro. Like, and just because I am property of the state due to certain, agreements that my parents agreed to, that they didn't know any better. Motherfuckers can come and haul you away if you not putting in your chip. You're not paying taxes to this federal government that is a fiat government in order to fund the Zionists.
Yeah.
I ain't
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I am no savant about this, but I can speak on it a little bit. And I'm just like, man, that's just my main thing. I always knew that it's going to that. Yeah. And I feel like to a degree, there's a accountability at the end of my life, or in some way that it comes back to us. So yeah.
I want to take a turn real quick and talk about your marriage, talk about your wife. You're 27.
Yes.
So how long ago did you meet your wife, Chris?
I met Chris maybe around 2018.
Okay.
Or maybe I follow her Instagram. Beautiful lady. She was already eating plant-based. Seemed to have a good heart, and, after some flirtatious messages, we didn't even know each other that well. I was like, we should go have fun a baby. I was joking, but it happened.
Yeah.
Smoke it so, and it's up, you know. But
yeah.
She we were friends at first for a while, and she's just always has been someone who's there, who saw me for who I was, and was just dedicated and helped support me. And like right now she's like really like my rock, man. She like really like helped me like set up the website for this organized for just like the album and the organization and whatnot. And yeah, man, it's just so many lessons that comes with like being a husband and life partner, and like agreeing to, you know, like to commit and to be family, you know.
And how is that
just
for
like
you?
I'm family with my mean sister.
Yeah.
You were mean to me. I love you.
So how is it?
You know?
How is it going? How is it committing to one person? Do you enjoy the
Well, I'm
commitment?
not monogamous.
Okay. What are you?
I'm me.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't want to say that I'm this or I'm that, because then everyone's gonna come in their comments with their little whack rules like, well then if you're this, then you need to be doing that and this and that, and check off. Like, man, I'm just me. I'm me, and what works for me works for me. And Chris and I have an agreement, and everything's above board, and we don't deal with no niggas. We don't deal with no dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And that's just how we kicking it. And it's a beautiful thing. Sometimes it's a challenging thing. Comes with a lot of learning.
What is the most challenging thing about that with dealing with other women? Is it jealousy? Is it
sometimes I can say, hey guys, we're going to Disneyland. And when you get to Disneyland, you know, like, and you know, and someone might be like, yeah, like everyone in the car is like, yeah, let's go to Disneyland, right? And all right, you get in the car, you're on your way to Disneyland, right? And then, you know, you pull up and you get there, and then one of the girls all of a sudden, I'm terrified of mice. Mickey Mouse? Oh, I didn't know about that. Like, well, and there's a lot of things that come with Disneyland. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's just stuff like that. You know, you get what I mean? Like. Yeah, it's a very nuanced thing, and it just comes with just a lot of like hiccups and misunderstandings here and there. I've fucked some shit up sometimes in my day, also on my own end of like having to learn how to just communicate more clearly and more be more passionate about like communicating, even if it's something I don't even like think it's like a big deal. I'm more a person like, hey, like here's the blanket truth, like, you know what I'm saying, like this is the circus, you know what I'm saying, like
yeah, this is
you know what I'm saying,
like
yeah, and you know, and yeah, of course there's popcorn over there, like, yeah, like, oh, you don't like popcorn? Well, I didn't know you like popcorn. I told you this was the circus.
Yeah. And I'm not labeling you, but dealing with multiple women while being in a relationship and your partner being okay with that is sometimes presented as easy. Like, no, as long as everyone is on the same page, this is going to be easy. And although everyone could be on the same page, I believe it still presents challenges that's typically not talked about.
Yeah, challenges. I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
Challenges because we, including myself, are programmed by all the songs that we've heard about being broken heart, about you doing this, you seeing her, you seeing him. You know, I don't want to know. You know, like,
for sure.
You know, all the songs. Yeah, I'm effing your bigger. You know what I'm saying? All that. You know, it's or you know, on the shows and whatnot. I just have my boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm locked in with my goddess at the time, you know, we're building, and like, man, I'm investing a lot of energy and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we locked in, you know, but I got, there are people out there, you know, there are like lovers I have that talk to other guys. I'm like, yo, be tested, take care of yourself, respect us. Most of all, respect her, respect the queen, respect Chris. And also in that same breath, you know, like, it's not just me dealing with, it's not it's Chris and I, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Is we both, have our fun with the lovers that we come across,
Mm-hmm.
and the door is not closed to if things work out that someone fits in our life, but
Mm-hmm.
we're not rushing it. If anything, we getting our money up. We're focused, purse first, last. I'm just focused on the mission, man. We got
For sure.
we're doing the thing, and
okay.
Yeah,
And so
man.
so considering that you have dealt with other women, how do you break those ties with women, especially if there was love involved?
How?
Mm-hmm. Because I feel like it's a process. It's not easy to let people go that you love, unless there's something really big that happened that is like, okay, you know what? This is it. This is,
that's what it has to be. It has to be
Right.
something really big that happened where it's just like, oh yeah, man, you tweet that. We gotta
Mm-hmm.
we gotta let this go.
Yeah,
And even then, it's not that easy, but still,
exactly.
yeah, it's got to be what's got to be, And sometimes I've held on to some landmines. I've held on to a frag grenade, man. Boom, my arm's gone. Like, oh God! And Chris was like, "You told you." I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
it helped me."
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta heal from that and things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man, it's challenging. It can get messy, but also it just comes down to me as a in my dynamic as the leader of my household. It does come back to me in navigating, because Chris is like trusting me and trusting my leadership, and also I thank her for giving me like room for error, and I give her like room for error when it comes to all other types of things as well, and that's just what like just the commitment is about,
Mm-hmm.
you come as you are, and we work with it. You work with it.
Yeah. Okay. And before we get out of here, I want to know what's one piece of advice that you would give to the world. And I know that is really heavy, so take some time.
One piece of advice I would give to the world.
Yes.
Here's a piece of advice I got that I really liked.
Okay.
Okay. It was like some dude. I was in was at Warby Parker looking at some glasses like a nerd, and this dude, I had Forrest with me. He's like, "You want some advice about parenthood?" I was like, "Yeah, what?" And he said, "Don't take none." So that's the best advice I give people, man. Follow your heart. Do what works for you. Do not go don't swim downstream unless you want to. Don't even listen to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, take the time to learn yourself, what works for you and what you want. There is no wrong answer. And God is gonna love you at the end of the day. And God lives in everything in one, and you'll be all right. You'll be all right. But also, don't be too 5D to the point where you think you can just like, you know that concept of like 5D.
As far as like
You ever people talk about 5D at all?
I feel like I have.
Oh, yeah,
Tell me
dimensional shift and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
It's about like people who want to like manifest. Like the 5D is like, relating to the throat chakra. You can speak things into reality. You can manifest things. You can create things. Some people think that, oh yeah, I'm going on a 5D shift. I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna do that. And it's like, you gotta put in work to manifest. You also have to put in work. You gotta put in a lot of work. A lot of people, we live in a 3D reality. You know what I'm saying? Like length, width, height, like depth. And then the 4D, which people don't talk about, which is duration, time, putting in time. And in the spiritual community, a lot of people talk about 5D and they don't talk about 4D enough. Like, yo, you got to put in that time, bro. Like, I had to put in time to, put out music or be in this position, like, you got to put in that 10,000 hours for whatever it is that you want to be a master at. So when you want to chase your dreams and when you want to follow your heart and when you want to manifest and understand following your heart is that heart chakra, which is the fourth chakra, and that's some 4D shit, and your heart beats all the time, timelessly, you got to put time in and do what you love all the time, timelessly, to set yourself free from this 3D matrix that has us all trapped, like worrying about these lower aspects of ourselves, and that solar plexus, like in our ego, like who we think we are, who we're supposed to be. Oh, I'm better than this person next to me, or, or maybe I'm too good to work a job, you know what I'm saying? Or the solar plexus, we get caught up in, our cravings or our addictions, our vices, and because of that, our root chakra is destroyed. You know what I'm saying? We can't keep a home. We can't, our foundation is shaky, or, you might end up creating, some perpetuating, like the generational curses, because a lot of people try and skip from 3D to 5D. Yeah. I hope I'm not sounding too bippity boopity over here.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah.
One thing I did want to touch on is your, because I know you did say you were plant-based, right? So why did you choose plant-based? Why did you choose a plant-based lifestyle?
I daydream of Zaxby's wings and things. That was for you, Reese. I daydream of that Chick-fil-A biscuit at breakfast. It was bussin'. It was a good time. Boy, was it a time. My uncle was a grill master, and he's probably at Grant Park right now. Flipping them ribs, 9 slabs on that motherfucker. I used to watch him. Actually, when I was 17, I went vegetarian when I was 14 because my aunt named Faith, she passed away, and she was like a mother to me because my mom worked a lot. So oftentimes Faye had to watch us. Faye watched all of my cousins too, because a lot of the parents had to work a lot, and Faye was available to watch us because she was the person in the family that was just, a bit overweight and just kind of didn't go anywhere, and but she was just one of the sweetest people, taught me a lot about some spiritual things too, very early, and when she passed away when I was 14, that hit me hard, of a heart attack. I was always told heart problems run in my family. And I decided, I'm going to go vegetarian because I was kind of upset that no one ever just took away everything from Faye and made her vegetarian. It would go and it's not anyone's fault. It's not anyone's fault at all. I love y'all. I love everyone in my family. But I just wanted to know how to do it. So if I'm having heart problems later in my life, I won't be so far gone that I think, I can't change. I can't do anything different. So I tried it when I was 14, vegetarianism. And my eyesight got better. I could wake up easier. I just felt even doing like this with my hand was easier. And I stuck with it. And then when I was 17, I went back to meat. Pause. Yeah, Reese, you got chill, Reese. When I started eating Baconators, bro, that was my Baconator. That's my shit. I was going to Wendy's, bro, hitting it up, getting them square patties, boy, hitting them squares. And then when I graduated, I even barbecued my graduation cookout. I think that was like my last time eating meat, and I made a joke. And it's a very inappropriate joke. I was like, yeah, this is my last time doing it. I just want to see everyone put my meat in their mouth. All right, I'm out. And it's terrible. Yeah. Blue tomatoes. Yeah, but I went on tour because once I graduated from high school, I I was on, man. Like I walked across that graduation stage with, like $1 million deal, bro. Like damn near, and I was touring and I was singing and I had a lot of phlegm. And mucus in my vocal cords, and I was just like coughing up a lot of shit, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna just go vegan. I gotta take, not only am I gonna stop eating meat, I'm gonna stop the dairy and the cheese. And I did that, and ever since, since I was 17, I've been plant-based, and it's been a roller coaster. It's been a real one, and yeah, I enjoy it. And I think to each their own. I think it's a good thing for the world. I think a lot of people should try it out. I have a startup kit too. Sometimes people, I don't talk to people about it unless they come to me. I'm not the vegan police or anything like that either. And I do eat honey. So I couldn't say that I'm vegan. I don't even say that I'm vegan. I say I'm plant-based.
Yeah.
I don't even like to say, I'm me.
Yeah.
I'm me. I'm not polyamorous. I'm not polygamous. I'm not vegan. I'm not plant-based. I am not woke. I am not, I'm not ignorant. I'm Raury. I'm vibing. And if you really want to know me, like, talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Or go look at my interviews.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. No, that's amazing to hear. And I'm so thankful that you chose Holistic Conversations and that we're sitting here and we had an amazing conversation. We're about to get out of here, so please
I hope you like the conversation. I hope y'all don't think I'm nuts. People do.
No, I think this conversation will give people more of an insight of who you are and everything. So let the people know where they can find you. Tell them about your new album that just came out, your meditation album, and yeah.
Okay. Yo, this is Raury. Happy New Year, because March 21st is the new year for me. I don't do New Year's on the 31st because that's where everything's dying. Everything's coming back to life right now. It's the spring solstice or equinox?
Solstice.
I'm dumb. Spring solstice.
Ooh, don't quote me, dude, because I could be totally wrong. It could be, no,
Brittany says
equinox,
spring solstice.
It's equinox. It's
the It's the spring solstice off in this joint. And I just put out a meditation album. And what did you ask me to?
Let the people know where they can find you.
Where they can find me. Yeah, yes. We just put out the meditation album called Transcendence. You can find me anywhere. You just type in the name Raury. And not many people have it. And if you do have the name Raury, I'm coming for you. There can only be one. So Raury, like the show Maury, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Spotify, on Pandora. I have a website, thewoods.world, where the entire movement that I'm speaking of that wants to revolutionize real estate, revolutionize just community, go and sign up, give us your email and your address and all that stuff, and we'll send ferries to your house and all that. Tap into our events. We're doing a lot of cool things in Atlanta this month and throughout the year. We have a radio. We're at WRFG 89.3. Shout out Hirsch. Shout out Chris. Not my wife Chris, but Chris that runs WRFG Rhythm and Resistance. Tap in. He's a really solid guy, and we're just curating culture on so many levels. So if you want to see me, just have your eyes open, because soon we'll be all over the city, because that's what we're planning on doing. We're spreading like a mold through Atlanta. And then we'll be in the Carolinas and New Orleans and Florida, and then we'll be all over the world. So here we go. This is just actually the dawn of my career as a man now, in the driver's seat with a solid team. And I thank you guys for tuning in. I thank all of those who have already listened to the album, and I thank you for being open to having me. Yeah. Yeah, and thank you for actually closing out our first season on Holistic Conversations. It's an honor. It is an honor. That is so player. I got to, got to be a season finale. I feel so important. Yes, you are. You are important. And thank you all for tuning in to Holistic Conversations. I mean, your support means the most to me. Make sure you all like, comment, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let us know, what did you think about the episode? And on that note, I will see you all again on season 2. Thank you again for tuning in. Peace. Game blouses.